What are you doing when you're not here?
Sorry?
What you doing? I see you in Rotax International Trophy. Different races. You also been in racing.
Well, I've been since 2018. I've been the official voice of the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. Late 2018, that then increased to the BNL Karting Series. I also had the opportunity to be at Le Mans last year for the 2021 International Trophy at Le Mans. A fantastic experience, despite the fact not only was I doing the commentary for the qualifying and also all 47 races on my own, but along with that, my initial journey there was for doing social media work for 3 drivers, and I get a phone call from Henry Baudet, 11:30 at night. I'm right by the Gare du Nord at Le Mans, and he phones me up and he says, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there, but I told them you are, and that you'll do a damn fine job. The biggest saving grace with me was that I knew 80% of the paddock, so it wasn't really a big problem at the end of the day.
You are a journalist, you are a commentator. What do you think, what do you feel when you're being intense in Rotax training?
The tent is the hive of activity. It's where everyone congregates, everyone talks. You know, everyone's not as stressed as they were coming into the grand finals. Of course, there is that sense of competition, but it is, as I said, it's a social event. It's where you meet new acquaintances, new people. I mean, never in my life would I think that we'd have a man that's raced all across the world in Formula One, Rubens Barrichello, 458 in DD2, being part of that atmosphere. And his son Eduardo is running in senior Rotax. So there's no airs or graces. Everyone is just human. And the human aspect of the grand finals, the atmosphere, it's more than just the racing.
When I come to the Rotax finals first time in Portimao 2017, I look at the stand and say, this is the kingdom of smile and hope.
Yes.
You think so also?
I think so as well. One of the beauties of the grand finals is that earlier on this week, through the 3 official chassis partners, Birel, ART, IPK Praga and Sodicat, we had 394 pristine, brand new chassis with engines, with electric powertrains for Project T20 lined up, and it doesn't matter how many grand finals you've been to, even if your name's Daryl Smith, who's been to all bar 1, seeing those karts lined up is like nothing else. It is not like, say, World Championships or International Games or World Finals. This is the grand finals, and it is the most colourful, conglomeration of drivers. And the mechanics are here. The families are here. I mean, when we were at Bahrain last year, Jan, it was a very different feeling to Sarno. But when we came through everything that COVID-19 threw at us, we came through it with a smile and that global international bond with all the families here now, where people have parents, grandparents, siblings. It's a great feel. Georgia, Malta, Leon Zelenko from Croatia. We've got Kuwait, we've got Saudi Arabia, and that's just a 5 nations out of 60. And it's great to see that these drivers have earned their right to try and go for the Grand Finals Championship title. When you've had, like, last year, we've had Nikita Lubimov from Estonia, was the Micromax champion last year, running in Mini this year. Tomas Stolchamanis, last year's Latvian champion. Mark Kimber, 2-time Grand Finals champion, 2016 as a junior, 2021 as a senior. This year, he's in DD2. So he could be probably... It'll be 3rd time's the charm with a difference in the fact that he could be one of the very few people, and I'm not too sure, I'm going to have to look through the honour roll on this one, Could he be the first person that's done junior, senior, and DD2 and won the thing? You know, it's great to see so many familiar faces from the European side, but also to see the South Africans back with us after not being able to travel to Bahrain due to the restrictions. We've got Team Canada, Team UK, Team USA. The Brazilians always, there's a lot of colour, there's a lot of laughter happening around parts of this tent, and that's a great feel. And I always make a beeline for the paddock. Like, I'll come in, I'll set up for the day, and then I'll talk to people I know and then introduce to people I don't know. And it's always about, it's this open plan paddock is great.
You think we have some more space in time to make the Grand Finals a little bigger with more drivers?
I think at the moment, with the capacity that we have, you know, if we had 18 E20 junior drivers and 18 E20 senior drivers, we would be shy of 400 drivers. I think with the way that that Rotax have developed this program over the last 2 decades, that I would say there will be future developments where we will have more than 400 drivers, and we could have north of 60 nationalities. But that's what could be looking ahead. I think, you know, to be part of the biggest grand finals in its history is a pretty nice feeling.
In your opinion, your dream, to which circuit you want to go with Rotax Grand Finals?
Well, Bahrain was actually a pretty high bar that was set last year, if I'm honest with you. I'd like for it to go to the United Kingdom one time, to Paul Fletcher International, but when you look at the scale, if it ever went to Sweden, the Asumring in Kristianstad, that's a great circuit. If Adria was still operational, that could be a possibility because that's got a huge paddock. But I like to not know what to expect, because there's always something with Rotax that they.
We have Brazil, we have Bahrain.
Oh, I know.
You know, years ago we have United States. So.
Well, we've had Algarve Raceway, we've had New Orleans, we've had Puerto Rico, we've had Brazil in 2018 at Conde Paraiba. So I think that, you know, when you look at how long it takes to set up this kind of event, you know, 12 to 14 months, and for it to be back here in Portugal's home, you know, one of the big, you know, Portugal's fantastic circuits. You know, you've got other tracks such as Braga and Via de Castelo, I think. The latter one was when we first visited Portugal, but the Algarve is a hive of activity. You know, we've got the Kartodromo Internacional, the main car circuit that has hosted Formula One in recent times, GT racing. It's also hosting International GT Open, which is the GT3 sports cars. So I think this is a great location, no matter what year you come into, and I'm looking forward to seeing where 2023 takes us.
I think about you, look at you, and look how you work. You must love karting.
It's part of my life. I mean, for those wondering, I worked in the automotive industry for two decades. I worked with a whole host of manufacturers, Hyundai, Jaguar Land Rover, Volkswagen, Audi, and I was made redundant on September 1st, 2020 through the pandemic. And I said to myself, if you're not going to do it now, you're never going to do it. So I went full-time self-employed, and karting, it's not just a job, it's a way of life. And to be the European voice of Rotax, being just a part of this all the little cogs that are here, is truly an honour and a pleasure.
And my history with karting starts 2013. First time I'm going to the event. And from this time I look from all new drivers from 4 years, 5 years, to 20 years, 30 years into masters. And I always look at these drivers, and this is part of, I don't know how to say. This is very impressive. to show, to look how the drivers grow.
Yeah.
How many drivers you looks how they grows?
I mean, it's when you think about it. I'll take a couple of examples here. Kai Rilets, 16 years of age, representing Team Belgium, Vice European Champion, BNL Karting Series Champion, Belgian Max Challenge Champion, Chrono Karting RMC Dutch Champion. And the 2 years before that, he was winning everything in juniors. But he came to Bahrain and got pipped by Jaden Thien for second place. So it just goes to show that, and I remember when Kai was in minis, and in 2017 he picked up his first title in the BNL Karting Series. This year he actually made the first bit of real history. I mentioned Mark Kimber possibly getting 3 titles in 3 different classes here at the Grand Finals. Kai is the first one in the BNL Karting Series history to win 3 different titles in 3 different classes, mini, junior and senior. Now, for those wondering about who has raced in the BNL Karting Series before, Oliver Askew, Team USA, 2015, won the title then. Rinus VK, who's now in IndyCar, raced with him in seniors. But where Kai started his journey winning titles, a certain 2-time Formula One world champion, Max Verstappen, won the Minimax class in 2008 and 2009. And I think you see drivers like Kai who are fast, consistent, competitive. I mean, you even take drivers in DD2 Masters, for instance. Tony Hogg from the UAE, a bloke who I've known for years, great guy. He's 58 years old and he's a grandfather of 2. You also have other characters that we've had over the years. Have to give a shout out to Christoph Adams. 15 times in a row. You make that 16 when we had the unfortunately cancelled 2020 Grand Finals. He's represented 3 nations, Belgium, France, and last year in Bahrain, he represented the Netherlands. He's one of the most eccentric characters in this paddock. And I'll be completely honest with you, just when he spoke with me at the Golden Trophy at Karting Genk just over 2 weeks ago, he said it's a bit of an end of an era. And I said, he showed me his Galaxy Fold, flipped it open, and showed me that he still has every single Grand Finals race suit he's ever worn. And that is a slice of history. And I did say to him, look, Christoph, you might be getting older, but I know for a fact the journey's not quite over yet. And there are so many great talents in juniors all over the place, from Micromax all the way to DD2 Masters. And I like the fact that Rotax has a platform and this ethos of parity and fairness and promoting the driver's skill at the Grand Finals means that everyone is at the same level. They've got to get the kart sorted, they've got to make sure every nut and bolt is tightened and fastened, and make sure that the karts are set up for the right place at the right time. And that's going to be on Saturday when we get the Grand Finals. Of course, we're going to see some of the categories be cut down from 72 to 36 drivers, but that's part of the Grand Finals. You get here, and then you've got to compete against the best in the world. And you've got to do everything you can. You will fight against adversity. It'll be trial and error with the setup. The kart might have problems, but at the end of it, even though whatever position you finish in, even if you finish on the top step at the end of the week and become a Grand Finals champion, joining the honour roll, you'll know that you'll have had one of the best experiences in your karting career, no matter your age, from age 8 all the way up to nearly 60.